I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you have such a good...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunting.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Rita Parks. You're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. Be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. On the IE Network, we broadcast via the World Wide Web on the IE Network on youtube.com/IE Network TV. Twitter via Periscope, and the social network themselves, Facebook, and others, LinkedIn, things like that. Welcome, everybody. Have a great show tonight lined up. Special show. Long time coming. We may even end up doing like a part 2 to this eventually because it's a long overdue show. We want to talk about, and over here we like to not only entertain you guys and enlighten you, we like to also educate you here at Real Talk. So we'll have a little bit of all of that tonight, hopefully. We want to talk about the importance of having and hiring stunt performers. Okay. The importance of having and hiring stunt performers. This is really for all you independent filmmakers out there. Really, really tune in and pay attention here because we are, we're going to have 3 professional stunt actors, performers. They've done, some of them has done, coordinating and rigging and all types of, there's so many levels to it. And one misconception that I run into when I'm in a lot of my like independent groups for filmmakers, people tend to, and just running into them at film festivals, whatever, they tend to shy away from getting actual stunt performers to perform their stunts. And what they do is they try to perform them themselves, and it doesn't come out looking as great. I've seen films at festivals that are great films narrative wise, but then it gets into the action and it's like, oh boy, like I probably, could have choreographed that when I was, 13 after watching, kung fu movies. You know what I mean? So it's like, but what happens is they is a misconception that maybe they can't afford, or it might deplete their budget, or maybe they just don't know how to get in touch with a stunt performer. So we're hoping that today, when we have our guest panel, that they'll be able to help you guys understand the importance of because having a stunt performer on your project, and I've said it a million times, it ups your production value 10 times over. Okay. A stunt is something that should be performed by someone who is trained to do it. And it's going to also help. I looked up, here's the Merriam-Webster dictionary describes a stunt as an unusual or difficult feat requiring great skill. Okay. That's the key words right there. An unusual or difficult feat requiring great skill. So I'm not trying to, rag on people who do their own stunts. And sometimes, the bottom line is you got to make the film. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you have stunts, and I'm sure you do, because another misconception we'll clear up tonight is I don't think you can even have a film without a stunt. Even 12 Angry Men, a film where they were in one room, the entire movie had stunts. There was shoving going on and pushing and stunts. So, so if you're going to have a stunt, which I'm sure you do somewhere in your film, you need to hire or, bring on, however way you do it, a person, one of those people with that great skill that we just read in the dictionary of a stunt. An unusual or difficult feat that requires great skill. So I just keep repeating that because it's so true. It's so cool too. The way they say it is really cool too. Unusual, difficult feat requiring great skill. Very cool. So we have 3 people that have that great skill coming on today. So you guys tune in and check it out. Shout out to everybody in the chat rooms that's chiming in. Appreciate you. Joseph, what's up? And as the people join in and join out, Shout out to everyone who's checking us out over at LinkedIn, linkedin.com. Your people over there on Twitter via Periscope is checking us out. And, of course, here on YouTube on the IE Network. We appreciate you coming by. So that is going to be our show today. We have three, professionals. That's what we. I mean, I can refer to them as a lot of things, but they're professionals, and that's why we have them up here. Real quick before I bring them on, and I'm gonna bring on Ralph, my co-host, of course. Let's see. Just quick on the box office. Yep, box office is really still hasn't gotten back to where it should be, but the movie Old. That's M. Night Shyamalan, or as I call him, M. Night Scamalon. His film is number one this week. It knocks out Black Widow. It knocks out Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes. Oh man, that movie bombed, bro. But I mean, we know that they're still coming back. It's pandemic coming back, post pandemic, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people going back, but not everybody. But it didn't really do well in the theaters. Only 13 million domestic gross. It opened in 3,500 theaters. So it is what it is now. Snake Eyes. Speaking, that's a great segue, right? Being that we have some stunt people, fight coordinators, and all of that stuff on it. This is going to be a great show. So keep tuning in. What's up, Joseph? Thanks again for jumping in the chat room. We'll see the others as they come in. We'll greet them. And you're listening and watching Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director, but my Jedi Council with me, at least one half of them. If you don't believe me, here he is. Ralph, you're in the building, bro. What's up?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
What's going on, Ralph, man?
Nothing, man. Just
Snake Eyes bombed, bro.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but
no,
I'm not. I mean, because realistically speaking, the G.I. Joe movies have not done. They've done okay.
Right.
They haven't been box office. Yeah. They haven't done put the same numbers that Transformers has.
No, they haven't.
Like you said, it is post pandemic. So
yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it was Paramount, so maybe they'll put it on Paramount Plus, but Paramount Plus is free, right? Isn't that free? Do they pay for that?
I don't know. And based on what I'm seeing, man, I think everybody's gonna start reevaluating that, putting it so quickly to your streaming service, because Black Widow.
Yeah, well, people were more complaining. Black Widow made money on Disney Plus, though. People were complaining about it, because of what it is, the box office take on it. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it.
We'll see.
After you see, they'll reevaluate all they want. But if people aren't going out, if they're not going out there, man, what are you gonna do? The studios are gonna step in, huh?
But you see what I sent you, right?
Yeah,
Black Widow coming on video DVD next month. Like, damn, it just came out. And
Blu-ray next one. Yeah, they're definitely, no matter what, they're shortening the window. The window is done. Yeah. Like, that's, what was it before? Like 90 days or something.
It was at least 3 months. But if your movie was like really pop, really hitting, right? Yeah. You might have got to 5-6 months to make as much money as you possibly could. But now, unless you're coming in with the $300 million opening weekend, by a month and a half, and see, that's the other problem. Now people are going to say, well, hell,
why would I go?
Yeah. Hell, I might as well just stay home and watch it. I could just pick it up from Redbox or
right. Like it's in the movie a month, and I could just go get it. There's a lot of people, we have to realize. I always tell Kevin this too. I'm like, Kev, you got to realize, not everyone are fanatics like us. So we're the ones that go and make sure we watch it when it first come out 2, 3, 4 times.
But even like that,
some people are like, you know what? I'm good. I can wait until it comes on DVD or whatever, and they can go get it. And there's a lot of people like that because I know personally a lot of people that are like that. And
I mean, nowadays it's really hard to. I mean, I get in this conversation with people about why should I just go to movie theater, and I can see, and I tell them there's benefits why you go. Movies are meant for a big screen. They're not really meant for a television. Yes, you can recreate that with a sound system, but it's not the same. And matter of fact, I just got back from Chicago, right? I was hanging out with a friend of mine. She said, "Yo, Ralph, listen, my man got a Fire Stick. She brought the Fire Stick with her. You could watch anything on this you want." I was like, "Really?" I hook it up. Fire Stick wasn't working, and it don't me why, because it wasn't tied to the Wi-Fi. Tied into the Wi-Fi. Now the Fire Stick come on. And what's the first movie that pops up? Black Widow. Like it had just been out a week ago, and it's already available on the Fire Stick.
I mean, it was on Disney Plus the same day. The same day it came out, it was on Disney Plus. I mean, you had to pay extra for it, but I had paid for it.
But now you got this
months
thing
ago. I mean, like weeks ago, I had already paid for it because I didn't know if I was.
But now you got this thing that could probably get around that. You even paying extra $30 for it. Like, damn. And this is and not for nothing. This is stuff that I kept saying earlier when we started going to the whole thing. When you and Kev was getting to me, I said nobody puts this kind of plan in motion unless you're thinking in the long term. Is the long term the elimination of movie theaters?
I don't think the elimination of movie theaters is gonna really happen. But I mean, it's just the fact that I don't know. It's tough right now to tell. We have to see. Even when everything started opening back up, I still felt like it's going to take a year for everyone to get back into motion as far as the movie theaters go. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, the streaming services is going nowhere, though, bro.
I'm not disagreeing
they're going nowhere.
I'm not disagreeing with that one. I think streaming services are going here, but I think that somewhere down the line, someone's trying to say, wait, is streaming service the direction we need to put all of our direction into, or still we still and even with that statement, I'm not even sitting there saying that decision like, well, hell, because traditionally, this is the way that you saw a movie: big screen, VHS, cable, and then regular television. That's how you saw it.
Or if you owed like my ass, Betamax.
Betamax, right? Yeah. Well, home video, let's just say home video.
Home video, yeah. That was VHS and Betamax.
But now with this, if it goes away, now I'm like, do we even need to put it onto home video? Could we just eliminate that completely? Something's going to get eliminated. Something.
They're not eliminated. Well, you mean the video part? Then, because streaming. Yeah, I can see that being eliminated because of the streaming. Because if on Disney Plus, sometimes you get you even get extras and stuff. Like you can go to Disney Plus, they'll have like behind the scenes and extras. So if they start doing that and putting that on the streaming services, what's going to be the point of
exactly? And frankly,
that's all I bought home videos for, to see see behind the scenes. So
I got DVDs. Beyond it was a better picture, but particularly when VHS tapes didn't do letterbox commentaries, which I thought was the best thing. And
that's why I buy DVDs and Blu-ray for commentary. So
I mean, some of the best and actually some of the best commentaries that I have on Blu-ray or DVD are not even gargantuan movies. Like one of the best commentaries is the movie with Cameron Diaz. I think it's called The Sweetest Thing.
Sweetest Thing,
It's the entire cast, and they're cracking up throughout the entire commentary.
Yeah, that's a pretty good commentary. You know what else was good? Bram Stoker's Dracula has some really good commentary and really good behind the scenes. I saw one that had behind the scenes where it showed all of them reading the entire novel at the table. Before they even read the script, they read the novel together, which was really cool. Francis Ford Coppola made them do that, and I thought that was interesting. And whatever. We got Kev in the building too. Kev's here. Yeah, hey, Kev. Oh, sorry, Kev. I put you out for a second. All right, Kev. What's up, man?
All right, what's going on, man? Yeah, and they do still have some of that stuff on the digital copies.
They do sometimes. Yeah, the digital copies, they do have some of the stuff. I mean, eventually something's going to end up being taken away, but it's not going to be theaters, and it's not going to be tomorrow. Streaming. It's not going to be for a while. So,
streaming is cool. The only thing that I'm pretty sure about is not going to go away. Now, the other entities, the movie theaters and home video, those two, hey,
it would have to be video. Yeah, it's gonna be a while for theater.
Well, when you say home video, what do you mean? Do you mean the physical media?
Like Blu-ray, like Blu-rays and stuff like that. Yeah, the physical.
No, that's it's. I don't think it's ever gonna go away. What's probably gonna happen is there's gonna be a residual effect for people like me who like and us who still like to collect DVDs.
Of course. Well, yeah, nothing. If that's the case, there none of them really ever go. I mean, it's still people that collect vinyl. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, the only thing that's
but see now, vinyl is like retro. It's retro now. Unless you're unless you're a DJ. I mean, I know a bunch of DJs. They don't even carry vinyl no more. They got everything.
I mean, they don't carry it no more, but they still collect them. They still have them, or even if they have their own collection. Whatever, yeah, of course, it doesn't make sense to carry it now when you can have it on a flash drive. So there's no point in taking tons and tons of vinyl. I was talking about that the other day with my boy Deuce because he has a whole basement full of vinyl, and it's just like crazy.
And the other reason why it's never going to go away is because of piracy.
Well,
you're gonna have the have-nots who can't afford who can't afford streaming services, or it's not in their budget to do, or they just simply too cheap to do it.
Yeah,
and they rather go. They rather go out and buy
watch it dirty. Watch it dirty. So anyway, we're waiting on the rest of our guests, but I'm gonna start bringing in one of our guests is backstage, and I want to bring him in. We'll get started with him, and as the other ones come, we'll bring them in. Young gentleman I'm about to bring in now, professional stunt performer. I've known this gentleman since he was 16 years old. I used to be once upon a time I was a teacher. You believe that? So once upon a time I was a teacher, man, and this gentleman was a student of mine, and we noticed, when I say we, myself, my other partner, the teacher there, we noticed that this man was definitely daring. He looked like he had, like I said in that special skill. Yeah, there we go. Great skill. There we go. An unusual and difficult feat requiring great skill. I'm gonna keep going back to that. That's the definition of a stunt. This man, and at this time he was a kid. He's a man now, but at that time he was a kid. This kid was doing that stuff at 16, and probably younger than that. It's just that I only saw him at 16. Anywho, he's went on and became a very professional, busy, and successful stunt performer. And I'm very proud of this young man. I want to bring him in. My man Jaime Miller is in the building. Jaime, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for joining me, man. Thanks for joining
us. Miller. It's good, Mr. Miller.
There he is.
Yes, sir. And we also, I got so much. I would have took so much time running down all of the history we got. We also worked together on my very first feature film, The Trade-Off, along with Kev right here. You know what I mean? So it's a little half trade-off family reunion right here.
Absolutely. A lot of history going on here.
A lot of history going on there, man. But I thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.
This is a long time coming, and I've always wanted to do this, but now I got around to doing it, so I'm glad you're on, man. How are you doing today?
Hey, everything's great. It's another day in paradise over here. We got some good weather in New York. I hope it's a little cooler than Florida where you are. But
I'm sure it is. No matter what the temperature is, I'm sure it's cooler than in Florida.
Right now, right?
It's hot and muggy. You know what I mean? And so also joining our panel. I see one of our other guests has arrived, and let's see if we can get her in here. Give me a sec. Yeah, cool. Young lady coming in. I'm excited to meet her. This will be my first time meeting her on the air, and she's also an actor, stunt performer. Ms. Anita Clay is in the building. How are you?
Hi. Nice to meet everyone.
Hey, good stuff. So, all right, we're waiting on David Chen, but we'll go ahead and go forward. So, obviously, I wanted to dedicate this show to stunt performers, and not just stunt performers, the importance of having stunt performers in your project. Because a lot of times our audience, a bulk of our audience are independent filmmakers. And, we like to try to kind of give them an opportunity to, learn and educate them, because a lot of independent productions, unfortunately, they tend to skip over the stunt performer or stunt coordinator, because whatever the reason is, it could be a fear of their budget is not enough, or whatever. Maybe they just don't know anyone who does that. You know what I mean? So it could be that too. But I wanted to bring you, all of you, on to kind of like highlight some of your career, and just kind of like pick your brains on certain things when it comes to this whole stunt performing thing and how important it is in film. So I'll start with Jaime. Sure. We've talked about this many times before, off air and stuff like that. But the importance of a stunt, I think you might have heard me earlier when I first came on. I said, I don't think you can write a film without a stunt in it.
It's hard. It's kind of difficult. Yeah.
It's very hard. Like I said, for you youngins out there who've never seen 12 Angry Men, go check it out. 12 Angry Men is a film where it's filmed in one room. There's only one room. It's 12 angry men in the room. And even that has stunts in it. So it's like, I don't think you can write one without one. So as far as the importance of it, I just want to kind of reiterate that. Can you kind of break down, just in your own words, how simple a stunt can be, and how, we know how difficult stunts can be. But what I mean is simple is not easy. I don't mean easy. I mean simple, like something that's small, but people may not even see as a stunt. If you can give us a little insight on that.
I mean, so as simple as you're throwing a punch, can be a lot more difficult than people think. I've grown up first in the independent film world. I've been there with you, making movie magic with you in our own hands, versus being on extremely high professional sets. There's really no difference the way we act, I feel, whether we're on a small budget independent film or a multiple $1 million film. The importance of having somebody there that's, I may not be your lead talent there. Actually, I prefer not to even be seen. I like being a professional blur. But the idea is hey, your talent, okay, doesn't matter who they are. Their face is as valuable as anybody else's, so we don't want to punch them in the face. So somebody may think, I got to get it right here. Where meanwhile, let's stack a camera, and I can get their feet away. Where if you sell the whip right of their head or their body, wherever they're getting hit, across the camera properly, we can have a really nice gap in between. And it's just the importance of, a lot of people think they may know how to do that until it comes down to really doing it. And then once we do it, then it's like, somebody's bleeding on set right now, or
medic,
makeup. Can we cover this up right now?
Medic.
medic.
Yeah, it's not in the budget. Oh, damn.
But I'll give you a really simple stunt. I'm not going to mention names on what projects they are, but this was a very big budget thing. I was hired to be a stunt driver. And so it's as simple as, all I'm doing is crossing a street. We have two cars coming into an intersection, and it's a near miss. Okay, but that near miss. Okay, well, anybody can drive that car. It's beats right now that you need to think about this. We're on blind corners. We both have our marks that we kind of, all right, we go slower and we figure it out. And that near miss right now is two cars, two drivers that are completely blind from each other, and all we hear is "and action." And you have to go.
And you gotta go.
The idea is, let's not T-bone each other, because we T-bone each other. That's it. Set. We're done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These things are important. Now, before I move to Anita, I just want, and we'll come back to you, Jaime, but also you mentioned driving. Now, some of, there's different levels to stunts.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously, and some people may not know that. So some of the things that could you run down a few things that you do, you know, in the stunt world? I know driving is one, rigging's another, right?
Yep. So I love to throw people on wires and send them across the way, or I'll be the wire performer myself. Stunt rigger.
Right.
I wouldn't call myself one of the martial art fight gurus, but you know, I'm that bar brawler, ground pounder, smash me, throw me through a window, over the bar, over the railing, and say bye. I'm a high fall guy. You know, I'm a fire guy. So there's a lot of different things that you can go ahead. You know, it's always fun when you're running down the street and, you know, set on fire with 7-foot flames over the top of your head.
That's a tough one.
Let me tell you, man. This young man, I gotta refrain from calling him a kid because I've known him since he was a kid. So,
I mean,
this young man,
you've known me for 18 years, you know.
You know, but yeah, he's been doing that, man. When I saw them, he did that in his own film, it was an independent film that he did, and I saw that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was in college.
That was college. Yep. That was one of my projects. You know, I was trying to push the limits in school and kind of getting yelled at here and there, but we made it happen and brought professional stunt coordinators on board. Happy to meet a few who are the reason why I'm here today.
What's up?
Which actually goes back, you know, I know you got to go to our next panelist here, but you shouldn't be afraid to ask people for help because believe it or not, most of us have come from that world.
Yeah.
And if we're not busy, we'll absolutely. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
I mean,
forever and ever.
Yeah. Now, real quick. Now, I noticed that there's some sort of like substance that you have to put on yourself, right? That burns.
There's a few things, from protective gel layers to fireproof clothing. We were, you know, you put certain things that fire retard materials and you know.
So the prep for this, what's the prep for this? Because you're only lit for seconds, right? You're only lit for
this one was close to the 30-second burn, actually.
Oh, it was a 30-second burn, and how long was the prep for it?
So the prep, I mean, I would say it's about maybe an hour-long process from the start of, all right, let's take everything out. We break it down. We inspect everything. We inspect the areas that we're going to be around, make sure that where I'm going to be, we're not going to light anything else on fire because that's the worst thing you could do is set the place on fire while you have a performer that you need to put out. We rehearse everything without setting anybody on fire before we get into it because the stuff is actually very, very, very cold to allow, you know, for some temperature changes for you to burn a little bit longer. You're going to make sure where your safety performers are going to be and where they're hidden here. You know, and I mean, I'll name drop. This guy's the one who got me into the business when I was very young and the guy that helped me out through all of college. I met him when I was a freshman in college. That's Chris Barnes to the left there who set me on fire and probably one of the bigger names in New York, you know, and still that guy, I love working for him every opportunity I get and still a mentor to me and a very close friend nowadays.
Wow.
Did I lose you? I can't hear you.
No, Wes, something's wrong with your mic.
Okay.
The only stunt performers you're going to hear the words "love" and "set me on fire" in the same sentence. That's just awesome. And you know, I want to move on to you because I think I saw on your reel you were doing something fire too at one time, right? And I saw it on your stunt reel. I think was that like a show you was working on, Anita, when you was working? I thought I saw like some fire stuff going on.
Yeah, that was for SEAL Team.
Okay. SEAL Team. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I doubled Tony Trucks for her firefighter certification, or that they were going through on the show.
On the show. Okay. Cool. Now, let's see. Let's start with now you. you definitely. I saw something when I was doing some research on you. You got something special coming up in October, right? Is it October?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be inducted into a Hall of Fame for martial arts.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Very good. Very good.
Thank
That's
you.
what's up.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, great.
That's really awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. Let's jump right into that.
Well, my style of martial arts is Kali, which is a Filipino martial art. I've been studying it, I would say, on and off with different instructors for about the past 7 or 8 years. And I belong to the martial arts community, so I just happen to be posting some of my Kali work on Instagram, and one of my grandmasters saw it, and he was like, "Hey, you look pretty comfortable," and I was like, "Yeah, I've just been doing it for a while. I've been training for quite some time now," and so then he was like, "You know what? I think you deserve some recognition. It's like they're just very supportive," and so he decided to nominate me for the honor. So I was very, very happy, excited, thrilled, and honored to, be inducted into something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw you getting it in there, man, with the knife fighting stuff going on.
Keep the knives away from me. I can say. You might get cut.
That's what you were saying in that.
You were saying behind you.
You said keep like this. Keep it away from me. No, that's good. That's what's up. I love it, man. This is awesome stuff. So when did you, and this is a question kind of like for all y'all. I'm gonna bring in David Chen as well, so I can ask him this question as well. You gotta ask this question. Welcome to the show, David.
How you doing?
How are you, sir?
You can hear me well?
I hear you. Well.
So, Jamie, how y'all doing?
Good. Yo, we're good, man. We appreciate you guys, all of you joining us tonight. Because we really want to highlight and bring to the light that people you need. It's important to have stunt performers in your project, especially independents, because it ups your production value tenfold. Just to have someone in there that knows what they're doing, and we'll get back to that. But I guess I'll now that I have all three of you on, I might have asked you this before, David, but you have to answer it again. What really got you attracted to or decided to do stunts? I already know Jamie's answer, but he's gonna have to answer.
I mean, for me, I loved action as a kid, like watching Last Dragon and Lethal Weapon and all those old classic 80s and 90s action movies.
Yeah,
I loved all that. So I always wanted to get into that field, but I wound up being a bounty hunter, a private investigator, and law enforcement, and all that stuff beforehand. And then one day I just said, when my daughter was born, I said, I'm just try to focus on it. And once I got into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
So that's cool. So you just that was your thing. What about Anita? What about you? What attracted you to?
I've always been a pretty rough person. I grew up with all men, so like I grew up in a pretty rough childhood. Football, wrestling, and all that stuff. But I would say when I was in New York, I live in California now. For anybody who doesn't know that. When I was in New York, I was predominantly just doing acting. And one of my friends, she reached out to me. She was like, "Listen, I'm doing this independent movie, and my actress just quit on me, but she's getting attacked in her apartment. Do you want to do it?" So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot." And so like we spent the day, and it's actually on my stunt reel. It's the first thing on the stunt reel where the guy's dragging me down the hallway.
Yeah.
By my hair.
Yeah. Wow.
So we did that for the whole day. I got beat up. And by the end of the day, I was just like, I love this. I want to do this every day. So from there, I just started to look for more acting roles that included action. Started to study martial arts. This is when I started to get into martial arts. And that's when I came across the Urban Action Showcase and came across Demetrius Angelo.
Right. Shout out to Demetrius.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Those are my mentors. I trained with them for a few years, did their urban action showcase for a few years. Sorry for the noise, it's my dog.
That's all good.
But I, from there, got my first gig with James Liu on Luke Cage. And got some opportunities out in California. So I ended up going out to California and just starting to train more in stunts and get heavier into stunts, and just been working ever since.
That's awesome, man. That is great. Now, Jamie, I kind of know your beginning story, but you know, everyone else doesn't. What got you into it so young too? You were into it so young. When you came to school, like I was saying, David, when this young man was a student of mine some years ago. And he somebody decided to let me teach somewhere, and I was teaching, and he was one of my students, and when he came to class, he was already a daredevil. You know, he had a motorcycle. He was like 16 years old. He comes in on the motorcycle. So what got you into, you know, that whole life?
Well, I mean, so as we were talking earlier, I was originally, you know, stunts actually wasn't even on my radar. I was just an adrenaline junkie as a young kid. I used to race motocross. I was drag racing cars. You know, got myself injured pretty good racing moto, and that's kind of after that point is when you met me. But I still was a wild child, but I loved action films. So I was kind of doing everything wrong when you met me. So that's, as stunt performers, you know, we're trained to be able to do stuff. I mean, as they'll be able to tell you, we have to be able to do the same thing 10, 20, 30 times in a row. Hopefully we get in a oneer, but, you know, how often does that really happen, guys, right?
Very rare.
When you first met me, yes, I loved action. And, you know, so I went to film school for directing and cinematography. And as a freshman, I no longer raced motocross. I needed something to fill my life, so I started skydiving. But I was a licensed pyrotechnician for Grucci doing fireworks, so somebody was stupid enough to give this crazy child an explosives license. And I'm trying to figure out.
Speaking of the skydiving.
So probably about a dozen in the world that have accomplished what you're seeing here.
My Lord.
That's some of the smallest parachutes in the world that I'm jumping.
What exactly is happening, real quick? I don't want to cut your story off, but since we're showing this, speaking of adrenaline, what exactly is happening right here?
So you're seeing me flying a parachute that flies as fast as the wingsuiters fly without their parachutes out. So I actually have to land this wing that you see above me, and they're going to go deploy a very big parachute for them and land something a lot slower. So I said to these guys, that's Craig Lambton underneath, and another guy, Nick, that I know. And I'm like, wow, you guys are just these ninjas in these wingsuits, man. Like, I've never seen anybody fly like this. And he goes, man, you got all the credit. I get to deploy this thing that lands in 2 steps. You got to land these things that go this fast, you know. And
look how look how fast you come in.
Coming in like a jet.
Yeah, you know, it's up there, you know.
I mean, this stuff it just gives me anxiety looking at it. I'm like, and it's on TV, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure y'all love it.
I did it.
Like, this is on 4th of July. We were having a good time, you know, a bunch of friends here.
That's awesome.
This is literally Skydive Cross Keys. Suggest anybody goes there if you're in New Jersey. But so this is how amazing. I got started into stunts. Actually, was I was a licensed pyrotech.
Yeah.
I was trying to design my own explosives for my action independent films. So I'm lucky. I have all my digits. I was mixing my own powders and saying, how am I going to make my own squibs? I need real bullet shot effects. I don't want this to be CG. And I maybe had 50 skydives as a little baby and met somebody who goes, hey, you know, my cousin's a big stunt coordinator. I'm like, I'm listening. You got me. Maybe I'm willing to help you. So I call them up. I bring these homemade explosives, you know, from my license, you know, mixing powders and figuring out how to do this. And I got steel plates that I'm putting on my leg, and pow! I'm like, ooh, that one hurt. That was a little strong, you know. And he goes, maybe we should dim that down. I go, I figured, you know, this is a little too much. And we eventually got something to where I had homemade squibs. I don't recommend anybody ever does that. It was the dumbest thing in the world. I would never do it again.
They're like, no.
But that is how I met Chris Barnes. And Chris Barnes got me into stunts when I was 18 years old and said, well,
You've
you
been
ever
in
think
it
about
since.
doing stunts? I'm like, well, talk to me. I'm really intrigued now. You
Yeah.
really got my attention. And from there, worked independent for a while.
Yeah.
As I was learning, and I'm still learning. I think we
Yeah,
all.
we all continue to learn.
always gonna learn.
It's a good point that I noticed. Obviously, all three of you, obviously, you're actors, and then I know you also do other things in the industry. You know what I mean? As far as like training goes, I mean, I don't know if all stunt performers have those extra things on them, but you got to think that that's got to be a big help that you do other
It always
things.
helps. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? You like you said, Jamie, you went to school for, which I already know, you went to school for cinematography and directing. So, I'm sure I know I've seen some pictures of you jumping off of things with cameras in your hand. So, I mean, that always helps, right? So, all of you do other things as well, as far as in the industry. You're not just actors or whatever. A lot of times people don't really. These. Just hearing y'all talk are educated people on how this, the stunt thing works. You know what I mean? Before we get into a couple of more deep dive, stuff about stunts, I ask y'all another not trivia question, but another regular question. All right, we know what got you into stunts. Now, thank you for telling us. Just what is your favorite stunt or movie that stunt from a movie that you weren't in? Just that you can think about that if you want, but I mean, I know for a fact there's a few for me, so I'm not even gonna name them. But
there's hundreds for me. I mean,
was there one that you just watched and you're just like, I gotta do this? Is there one? I know y'all probably got 100.
For me, dream for me was always to get into a Marvel show because I'm a big comic book fan. So I watched like when Daredevil season 1 came out. I was like, damn, that. I'm like, all right, let me get working on it. Even though I know wasn't gonna get into the fight section of that.
Right.
Luke Cage and working with James like Anita did. So that was like that was for me. Something I wanted to get in that I did get in, and then same thing with John Wick. Watching John, every stunt performer wants to be in the John Wick film, and I got lucky to get in that. Eventually. So
I have to say I'm with David on that. Like usually I don't look at a particular stunt and go, yes, I gotta do that. It's more like I want to be on that project. I want to be involved with that. I would say right now I would love to be a part of Black Panther 2. If you watch it out there.
Everybody's watching.
I'm too late for that. They already told me.
I might shave my head. I'm still thinking about that. I got nice hair, think about it.
It'll come back. It'll come back. Go ahead, Jamie, what about you?
It's the movies. They could just put a ball cap on you. That's it.
That just made you say, yeah, I got to do this. I know you was already a journaling junkie, but.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's one in particular. There's too many. I feel like I'd have to agree with them. It's just like, hey, wow, I'd really like to do that. And I guess for me, it would be more of like the technical side of some of the stunts that you see. Like, I love when we have the ability to really do it versus have to have something CGI'd. And that's really what got me into it, is saying, how do I make that get on that screen and not be a computer image? That's like,
that's a good point you just brought up. I think that's another reason why a lot of independents try to forego, go around stunts and things like that, because there are some things that you can do CGI or do computer, and replace. Like you said, you wanted to do practical effects when it came to gunshots and things like that, guns firing, stuff like that, instead of people just, doing little particle and putting them there.
I hate that. That is the worst. That is the worst. And when it's not done right, it is so annoying to watch these sparks just randomly, and then the audio's not synced up with the visual, so it's like, why even bother?
It's bad. It's really bad. So practical effects, it's always, but I think that's one reason why people kind of get away from that, but moving forward with stunts going forward, we know we want to, I promised a couple of people that they hear us harping about it all the time, and we talk about it all the time. We're always getting on the award shows and stuff. It's okay. We'll bash the award shows. This is what we do. So I know you guys are workers. Y'all don't have to do it. We'll do it.
I'm just going to ask, how do you guys feel about the fact that out of all the decades that all these award shows have been around, that there has not been a category for stunt performers? Like it's literally maddening for me. It's maddening.
I think it needs two categories, though. I think it needs to be stunt performer and stunt coordinator when you look at it with everybody else, because you may not have a coordinator that's a fight choreographer or a fire guy, but they're going to know who to bring in to build your masterpiece, right? And so there's that category for them, but then you have the performer that's going to be able to do what they need you to do, which is maybe that crazy stunt, maybe it is. So
that great skill.
I think definitely two categories that's needed.
Yeah, I think it is too. It's
I agree too.
It's overdue, needed, and I know you guys obviously know that. I don't know. Maybe we'll get close to it if we keep fighting, man. Keep fighting.
I will say that the Television Academy actually does have a stunt coordinator. They don't have a stunt performer yet, but they are talking about it.
The Television Academy, right?
Now this year have a stunt performer and a stunt coordinator category. So,
they just did that? Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple people that we know that got nominated for Emmys this year off their work, like Lovecraft County and Titans and stuff like that. So the Emmys at least open it up for
So the Television Academy is science.
Coordinators worked on that, like Court Hessler, and they fought for that for us. So I know there's like stunt coordinator and stunt performer in the show for Emmys this year, but they have to. That's just a start.
That's at least that's a start. I mean, just like to echo what Jamie said, that's needed anyway. At least those two. Least those two. Then you can start break if you want to break it off to male, female, whatever. Just like they do the acting, that's fine too. But at least you can start with this. Yeah. So guys, all right. Like I said, a bulk of my audience is independent filmmakers. So independent filmmakers, a lot of them, unfortunately, don't realize or even know what to do if they want to do a stunt in their film, right? Jamie, I know you've done some coordinating before. How would you say the simplest way to kind of put some of these people at ease that yes, they can hire stunt performers to be in their film, or at least a coordinator? What do you how can you?
Well, I think the first part is to have you answer, because you know how to get SAG signatory films. We've discussed this, and it's not as to hear, I'm going to hire somebody from the Screen Actors Guild. I think is intimidating for people that don't know it. The process. So I'd like you to kind of emphasize
very tedious.
That. Not as pain in the butt, but you get us. But
it's necessary.
It is necessary. From there, I think it's very stupid for people to go ahead and try and do action without somebody that's professionally trained in it. And as I said, there's numerous coordinators or fight coordinators or whatever you're going to be bringing in to help you with what you need for your project. And hiring the right person will orchestrate bringing in the right people, or which we see, and I know that David and Anita probably seen a lot of this too. There's a lot of actor action going on right now as well, where even.
So what's actor action? Break that down for me real quick. That's like a term.
Bigger budgets are having a coordinator come in because it's maybe a smaller stunt. To have the actors go through everything, and then you'll get a rehearsal day. You'll be training them how to maybe do a basic little tussle. It's not something that we can bring in a stunt double for, or maybe you don't have the budget for the stunt double. So we'll make do with what you have.
Right.
But you need to train them to do it properly. As I said, it's not only just training your actors, it's probably training, if your director's never worked with stunts, maybe you're going to be training your independent, director and
or the cinematographer, maybe.
Hey, let's put the lens here to be able to sell this or to do that or to stack this, or hey, try this with this shot. We can design this here and that'll help you. So back to, the categories is that coordinator is going to orchestrate how to bring your project, your vision to life. in a way of not only your budget and how we can do that, but bringing the right people there if your budget's maybe a little bigger. I'm not going to go into financials.
Right. Yeah.
There's different tiers for different projects through the union. And a lot of performers, you know, as I said, if we're not always working 9 to 5 or, you know, 2 a.m. to that, and maybe we'll be really willing to help you. I mean, I know that if I have the opportunity to help another independent filmmaker, that's how I got to where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And that absolutely, you know, I would love to give back and have given back. There are certain budget, you know, stuff. You know, I had somebody call me up once and they're like, hey, I need to do this one rig and I have like this, but I could just hang them. I'm like, whoa. We're not just going to take this rope and dangle somebody from the ceiling in the middle of the film school here. There's insurances. Like, hey, whoa.
Exactly.
But I'm like, listen, you know, you're going to need me for 3 days, whatever, you know, we'll work out this budget and you just take care of me. I'll bring this. And he goes, wait, wow, that's too much. I go, well, I'm going to advise you that either A, put off this project a little bit and save a little more.
Yeah. Which is not that's not bad advice. I tell people that all the time. And independent filmmakers don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They're like, oh, are we ready to shoot, man? I'm like, you're not ready to shoot. You don't have the money. It's like, I mean, you know, I say it a little nicer. I don't say it as blunt, but I'm just saying, you know, you might want to, you know, hold on a little bit, you know, because you want it done right. Because if you spend, let's just say you need a couple more grand or whatever, even a few more $100, and you know, whatever it is, if you go ahead and spend that now and shoot it and it doesn't come out right, you wasted that money and that time. You know what I mean? So wait.
Everybody else's time that's with you.
Yeah, and everybody else's time with you. So just wait until you know it's a stunt performer is just like any other crew position. If you want to hire, you know, a director of photography or a cinematographer, you know what I mean? You want him, you want to hire a real one. You don't want to get, you know, cousin Joey with his iPad talking about, you know, yeah, I'm gonna do, you know, you don't want that. You want to get an actual cinematographer who knows what he's doing and knows lighting and knows how to, you know, do shots. So same thing with stunt performers, you guys, you know. So I advise people all the time. I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. I'm like, wait.
Now speaking of weight, this question I'll start with you, Anita. What is your biggest no to where if you walk on an independent set to where you're like, you know what, I'm going back home today because I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not about to be a part of this. Or do you stick around and help to help course correct and get things back, you know, back if you see that things are just not going to be right? How do you handle being on an independent set with inexperienced?
If I walk on a set as a stunt performer and there's no stunt coordinator, that's a big red flag for me, because that means that there's nobody watching my back. You know, like that's what the stunt coordinator is there for, to make sure that all of the safety measures are happening in order for everybody to walk home safe that day. That would be one red flag. Now, if I walk into an independent set and they don't have a stunt coordinator, I might mention, like, ask where they're at, and then say, you know, I might volunteer myself and say, like, well, I can work safety. I can make sure that these are. Now, if I get into this situation where the director is asking actors to do dangerous things, and, you know, like you had mentioned, Wes, that, you know, what a simple stunt is. A stunt can be anything as much as like an actor just has to stand on a roof with no fence, and that's the stunt, you know, because for whatever reason, the actor could fall off the roof, and that stunt coordinator or the stunt person is there to ensure that that does not happen. If I get into a situation where the director is very much in their own game, has their own vision, and just decides that we're going to do this dangerous stuff, and they haven't really thought it through, that's also a red flag for me, because we shouldn't be walking onto set doing any type of stunt without some sort of meeting, some sort of like idea of like how that the safety measures are going to happen.
Yeah.
thankfully, being backed by the guild, you can call someone to be like, hey, this production is not safe. Because you do also run into that. I think I've also gotten to a point where I don't feel that if I say something, I'm going to lose out on work or that I'm going to be blackballed from the industry, because there is that fear as well. So a lot of people do not speak up because they don't want to lose out on the opportunity. They don't want to lose out on the job or jobs in the future. But if you do, ever see, like, walk onto any type of independence set and you're seeing that there's going to be some sort of danger where somebody could get hurt, you can't stay quiet or else you're compliant. So it's a very I don't want to say dangerous, but it's just safety is always
a lot of responsibility
number one.
with the job. Period. I notice there's a lot of responsibility. I know Jaime can talk about stunts, and he'll always. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about stunts without mentioning safety. You know what I mean? Like everything he mentioned, he always goes into safety and things like that. So it's a lot of responsibility that comes with this job. Not just for yourself, but others as well, others around you. And, he also brought up about training actors, right? Sometimes, what is it called? What's the term called again, Jaime? It's called actor action.
Yeah, actor action is
actor action, right? So, yeah, okay. So have Anita, have you ever been in that position where you had to kind of help the actor learn a little something?
Yes. I would say definitely when you double actors or actresses, you are going to be training them. They're not doing the stunts full out, but they are going to be doing parts of the stunts, especially the parts where they need to see their face. So you are basically, I would say it's like a bride and a handmaiden, if that makes any sense. So you're helping the bride get through the project and just basically there to make them feel comfortable. Also let them know, because I have also had, where actresses are like, oh, I don't understand why I have to have a stunt double, and they just kind of walk on with that attitude. Not my
really
problem.
That really happens. People get mad because they got a stunt double.
It does, because they don't understand
you don't want to break your
the level
neck.
of safety and just the amount of money that's being invested into some of these projects. So it's like we have to have a stunt double here, even if you're just going to stand on a roof. Because I did have to double a girl who all she was doing is standing on a roof, and she was like, I don't understand why I need to have a stunt double. And like the whole idea is that I'm just there to make you look good. So
that's weird to me that people get. Here's a question for all of you. Have you ever just kind of like bounces off that? I'm sure you probably have, but have you ever run into a situation where an actor doesn't want to do the stunt, or not doesn't want to do this, but doesn't really want you there to do the stunt? They want to do the stunt. That's my question. The actor wants to do the stunt.
Yes.
You're there to do what you're supposed to do. And, do they give pushback on that or anything like that? David, you ever ran into that?
I've only doubled a few people. People I've doubled. I mean, one guy, he basically just had to run up some stairs, and I was there just in case he couldn't do it, but he did it. And then the other two doubling jobs I basically did with no problem. The actors had no issue with it. But I like going back what Jaime said about action, actors, doing that. I did have to work with a situation where we had to train an actor. I had to work with 50 Cent on Power. So we had to go in on a Sunday. Jaime already know how 50 Cent is. We had to go in on a Sunday and train him, and I had to have a fight scene with him. And I had this brilliant idea because I felt like I was just kind of stagnant laying on the floor that he should throw a kick. And the coordinator, Chaz Menendez, said, he's going to kick you in the face for real. And I'm like, no, we'll work with him. He had a double. The double was there, but 50 said he wanted to do it himself. He got it. First take, he kicked me in the face.
Oh, jeez.
Second take, kicked me in the face again. But after a while, I realized I'm just going to have to eat the kicks and just not bounce it off the wall. So we did it. And he apologized because he tried not to do it, but he's not a gentle guy. He needs to For us, we would prefer he had a double, but because he gets physical, but so we'll try. There are some actors who won't try or don't want to do it at all.
Right, they don't want to do it. But what about so the ones that give pushback when it comes to they want to do it, but you're on set to you don't have to name drop if you don't want to, but have you just been in that position, Jamie? You ever been in a position where you had to do a stunt for someone and they wanted to do it themselves, so they kind of they gave you some pushback, or you not really had that ever happen?
Not really in that position. Actually, the exact opposite, where they really were like, more like what Anita said.
Yeah, well, Anita said, yeah.
Well, it's a dance, right? So
wow, that's so weird to me. I've never heard that before.
Performer or the actor, right? Like you have to. If you just imagine your actor doing this, who is not trained to do a stunt, you're not going to have the action that you want. But if you don't have them do all the beats in between that, you're never going to have anything to cut to their real face, and all you're going to have is this professional blur that you've just never seen going on. Yeah. So 100% what she said, and they've been like, well, I'm really not so comfortable doing this. And, more my doubling things when I doubled people were a lot more of the more extreme stunts, I would say, jumping off of things or more sliding, or in a car, or hitting the ground really freaking hard. And you're like, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I don't want to do that, And of course, that's why we're brought there. But, I mean, I could only assume that what you're saying is probably like Tom Cruise. I'd say that's a great example that I would. Right. I mean, I couldn't tell you from personal experience, although.
Right. Of course.
But I'll tell you right now, I would love to have been some of the people that worked with him, because realistically, hey, that he's done a lot of his stuff. But at the same time, oh God, that was Astoria.
Yeah.
Pulling up all these pictures, Wes.
Hey, Jamie, was that the day that they did the whole thing at the studio?
Yeah, that was all Astoria Coffin.
I was there. I put my daughter there.
Yeah. You was there?
Yeah, you, Drew Reed, and all of them. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah.
When it comes down to what the actor wants is what the actor wants. As a stunt performer, our job is to be there to support that actor. So if they want to do the stunt, you just back away.
Yeah.
You say, okay, well, I'm here if you need me. If you get tired or you feel, because I do double a lot of women, especially when it comes to fighting. So they're, they want to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm here. And, it's the same thing. It's not my job to tell them what they can and can't do.
Yeah,
I'm just there for support. If the stunt coordinator comes over and is like, hey, you got to do the stunt, that's when I have to step in. And then, even then, I'm not talking to the actor. I'm not saying, hey, it's my turn.
Someone else,
I'm not doing
it's someone else's job to tell the actor that they're going to do the stunt.
Exactly.
I think women are the biggest badasses out of all the stunt performers, though, because they don't get to wear all the clothes that we get to hide these pads.
Yeah.
And they're the ones really hitting the ground with these maybe flesh tone colored pads. So hats off to all the women.
I got very lucky. I think I was working on American Horror Story. And they dressed me up in this little shirt with these little shorts. And I was like, okay, well, what's the stunt? What am I going to be doing? They're like, okay, well, the main character, he's going to be running and he's just going to throw you down to the ground. And I was like, okay, getting scrapes today. Okay. But thankfully, for some turn of event, maybe, God loves me, he's good. They looked at me and they were like, actually, we're going to switch roles with you. So now you're not going to do that. You're going to just be opening up a car door and fight with it. You're going to tussle a little bit with the main character. And I was like,
thank you.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, because where I was getting thrown was it was on concrete off of a curb, and then under the curb was a gutter. So it was I could fall down. So there was a lot of factors in that stunt.
I'll go do that 5 times.
Yeah. And again from this angle. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Then they got to do close-ups.
Yeah.
Oh man.
As I said, they're the badasses.
That is something, man. But I mean, it's funny since you mentioned that we're fanboys over here sometimes. I'm just kind of saying it. Kev don't like to be called a fanboy, but I love projects. Just like you say, you love certain projects you was working on. Some of the ones that y'all worked on, I just want to kind of ask, just from my standpoint, a question. What was the experience working? I know, David, you've done a lot of work on Gotham. I know you worked on Gotham too, Jamie. I know I've seen, we talked about this the last time you was on there. The Gotham, you've been on Gotham a lot.
Yeah.
They had you acted up in there.
He's in the promos. Forget that. He's in the promo.
Yeah, he's in the promo. There's the Jada, right?
I was lucky to get Gotham because I started on Gotham as background.
Okay.
And Gotham is kind of the show that helped me get into stunts because I was background on the first season and I was standing there as a mental patient. And I'm looking at the stunt guys in the corner in their bags and all that. And I'm looking at them like, okay, who are these guys over there? And so then when they set up the stunt, they threw Chris Bizhub into Mark Pedigresso. And I'm like, I could do that. I could have threw him. He ain't that big. And I'm just looking at it. And I asked one of the guys, I'm like, yo, how much should I get paid? He was like $600. He was lying to me, of course. He was like, yeah, get on CMG Talent. Trevor Dickerson. He's like, get on CMG Talent. So I joined it. And I did like a hallway run where I thought I did a stunt. And I didn't it wasn't like I was hired to do it. I was a background guy. So I put it on CMG that I did this, and Norm Douglas called me and was like, yo, I don't know you. Take that off there. And then he called me back like 2 weeks later, actually hired me. And after that, I did, I got on Gotham and that was like my regular gig for a while.
Oh man,
yeah, I love that. I love that. I love Gotham. I would get into so many arguments with people about Gotham because I don't know why. I just love that show, man. Especially how they use Gotham and like how much the city was the character in every episode.
It is a character. Well, Gotham, the city is a character in almost every Batman story.
Yeah.
It's a character.
But in this one, it was like in this one, it's more pronounced on how like every scene, every shot, even with the murkiness. And Lord, I hate this term. But even when sometimes they're like, can't they just turn a light on? You don't need a light on in Gotham.
Yeah, no, you don't need it.
Dark.
It's supposed to be dark. It's a dark city. That's just the way it is.
Working on Gotham is fun, but Jamie, you worked on Gotham, so you know when I'm saying it's the wardrobe on Gotham was the worst.
Really?
I'm not. Wes, do not pull up a picture of this right now. Do not do it.
I already see it. I know. I pretty much see it because I already took you out earlier too.
Hands off. I got the hands off. I'm hands off.
Oh no, those aren't even the bad ones. I have the bad ones in my phone that it's like, here, we took this off and no, it was not on screen. Like, thank God you're paying me to look like that.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, wait, so the wardrobe it was kind of wacky, huh?
I've never worn so much makeup in my life.
Really? Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah,
it was that.
And why is it? Is it because it's extreme type of deal? Because they even almost every time, with the exception of the Joker film, every time Gotham is depicted in a film, it's a little bit extra. It's a little bit extreme.
But the show is a little bit different. The show is a lot different though, because the show is a lot. It is really, and Jamie, I know you and Homeboy can really attest to this. It's really more. I don't want to call it a period piece, but it's more like it's kind of sort of along the line of the Batman cartoon that came out. What was the name of that one? Batman, the one that used to come on the CW.
The Batman
animated series,
the animated series. It was kind of like that feel, but in real life, and all the characters were just exact. Like I love Mr. Freeze. I love like even the criminals.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they were just like really like I don't know. I can't really explain it, but it was just something about the performances. Like even you guys with your stunts and the things that you were doing, like those, like you felt everything that was going on in that film in that show.
To me,
every episode to me.
To me, Gotham was like a neo-noir type of.
Yes, exactly.
It was like it wasn't film noir, but it was.
And that's why the wardrobe was funny. to wear.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was classic with modern, So like they had cell phones and stuff, but
it also depended on where they put you on those days and when you were there. Like if you were part of the Joker's following, you were.
Oh, I had the makeup too, Jamie. They had my hair spiked. What was it? Something they did with my hair. They spiked it up like 4 inches with this stuff. I don't know. I never heard it was like in a yellow can. And they spiked my hair up like 4 inches, and they were like toothpicks in my hair with all the makeup on and then leather and all that.
Oh man,
if
you walk down on the street. I remember going home and like literally, all right, you're wrapped. You're like, okay, we're closing up. I'm like, whoa. Take this off my face before I leave. Like I did not go home looking like this.
I went to lunch. I had to go cash a check because I needed some money, and I had a check on me. I was at Steiner. I ran up to the bank. I rented a city bike with the makeup on and went to the bank with the makeup on. I was like, listen, let me explain. I'm working down the street here at Steiner.
That shit was like,
yeah, she was looking at me, okay. But
you're not gonna rob us, right?
New York. I don't know. That's that people will maybe expect that now.
They should be used to it. Exactly. They should be used to it.
No, that is hilarious. But this is great because you guys get to work on some of the shows. Like as you can see, Kev's a big fan of Gotham. You guys get to work on some of the shows that are big. People really love. I know Anita. I saw that you worked. I know you said you worked on Luke Cage. I saw Runaways on there too. You worked on Runaways.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that show, man. I really like Runaways. How was the experience on that? Was it cool?
It was cool. I was I doubled Ozioma Akaga.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
But it was just a scene where she needed to like hit somebody in the back of the head. She ended up doing the stunt herself. But it was a really cool set. Like everybody who was working that day was like super awesome. So it was a good day.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, these shows are crazy. Now, Jamie, I do want to ask you about Black is King. You worked on the Beyonce. I guess that was like a short film, right? What that was?
I mean,
it was a video type of deal.
I was told it was something completely else and didn't even know it was that. It was supposedly a music montage, and hey, we need to go fly Beyonce up in the air. So it really was just an aerial act, is what it was, and what I was actually hired to be.
Right.
And lo and behold, that comes out, and I see my name on it. I'm like, okay, I guess you lied to me on what this project was, and
even after you worked, you didn't realize what it was going to be on.
Somebody called me up and told me what it was. Actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
was that because they were just being secretive about it, or like
it's kind of weird in some of those things on like who you get calls from. I mean, I had these long, contracts on here on you got to sign this and you got to sign that. And as I said, I really was just there to be a lead rigger, to fly her up in the air on a Lyra. So I don't know if anybody on the show knows what a Lyra is, but it's an aerialist hoop, pretty much. We had a very fancy one there that had a seat in it for her.
Nice.
Very glamorous. And it was just, they wanted to, levitate up in the air and have it motorized and have it free spinning. So when you're taking somebody like B and you're throwing her 30 feet up in the air, there's a lot of stuff that goes on top of that, where if you have a normal aerialist, that aerialist who's not a stunt performer may just get in that with no actual physical attachments or safety to that and just be like, no, I'm good. You're not good. Accidents can happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, that job was incredible. She actually was very incredible to work with.
Right, that's awesome.
Flying Blue as well, her daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So you'll see her spinning around on it, So that one was just a rigging job. And I mean, as simple as I may make it sound, it wasn't.
No, but that'll, yeah. Like I said, it's simple, but it ain't easy. That's for sure.
So it was all, a series of, I had her in a, special harness underneath her wardrobe, and she was safetied in, with the Lyra at a higher attachment point. So let's say that thing fell, right? She could have let go. She wouldn't have fallen. The Lyra breaks. The Lyra could fall, although the Lyra was safety a couple other times, so that way nobody was underneath. But that way nobody would get hurt as well, and anything could fall away, and no matter what, it'll still be hanging up there, and nobody would be hurt or dead or broken. Right? Because I promise you, if you drop somebody like Beyonce, you're never working another day in your life.
Nope.
You're going to jail too. I said you're probably going to jail too. Just because she's Beyonce.
Well, no, that's true. Once again, that calls back to the huge responsibility that you have, working this stuff.
I'm sorry, Wes. I don't mean to cut you off. I want to take a pause here, because that's there will be no jail because the Beehive will take care of you.
Yeah,
you won't even make it to jail. You'll be on your way to jail. They'll break
They'll
you
be like,
out
what
of jail.
happened to Jamie? I don't know. He just disappeared.
They'll break you out of jail just to get.
He's the next Hoffa. That's what it is. He just disappeared. Like he was on his way. Then something happened.
But I mean, that's cool though. It's good to hear that was a amazing experience for you. Yeah. It's I know a lot. Someone who particularly was talked about. I never saw it, and they were like they really enjoyed it. So that's cool.
It was really good. It was actually really good. I was surprised. I stayed up late that night waiting for it to come on. Actually, I found it by accident. I was waiting for something else, and ended up watching that. And it was worth being up 2 o'clock in the morning for. It really was. It was actually really good.
Oh wow! I don't know about all that, but I don't know about all that. But it's
2 o'clock. You got me knocking on my door saying, "Hey, my music video is premiering right now. You need to put it on." I'm not. Other than that, Beyonce could have waited till 9 in the morning. Sorry.
Yeah. That's Beehive.
No disrespect, B, but you could have waited till 9.
That's Beehive stuff.
She was
So listen,
and had some crazy energy, and it was just an amazing opportunity, y'all.
No, that sound.
There you go, Jamie. Nice cleanup, Jamie. Nice cleanup. There you go.
There you go.
And she walked away just fine.
You walk away just fine. You're no target on your back. No buzzing going on. You're good.
Yeah, don't let Ralph get you cornered out here.
Oh no. Don't listen to me.
For all of you, what's the ultimate stunt job that you would think for you that you haven't done yet? What's the ultimate stunt job?
Start with you, David.
I don't know. Let's see. The ultimate stunt job would have to be a movie with Jackie Chan, Denzel Washington, Jet Li.
So it's the Expendables, but with stuff.
There you go.
The new Expendables.
And that's the ultimate stunt job for me right there. I mean, so then I don't know right now. I mean,
Dave, I got a question. Out of those people who, if you had to do a stunt and you were actually going to take on Jet Li or Jackie Chan, which one did you take on?
Oh, come on, man! You can't put me in a position like that.
Yeah, because you see, you're a stunt. You see, because that's your business.
Those are two people, but those are two people who I grew up watching, like Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, all that, Lord. Like Fearless Hyena days. I have those VHS cassettes, and then the Jet Li old films,
Hero,
Last in China. All I have those.
Fist of Legend.
Fist of Legend. All those.
I would say, all right.
But if you had the open challenge, someone say, okay, all right, look, this is the challenge. David Chen, you gotta today. You're working and you're gonna fight, and as stuntman, you're like Mortal Kombat today. In Mortal Kombat, we're doing Mortal Kombat today. Your opponent is either going to be Jackie Chan or Jet Li. Which one you going? Who you taking on?
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people, Jamie might even agree with this. Any stunt performer is going to take the opportunity to work with Jackie Chan, even though you're going to get hurt.
Exactly.
And you're going to take that opportunity. It's either, the thing is, it's either go hard or go home. So
yeah.
Exactly.
Do
like Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan, you're going to get kicked. You're going to get thrown into something. You might break a bone. You're gonna get hurt. So
I'll take them Hong Kong stunts there.
Those guys, now they're the real deals.
Wow, they are something. That whole crew.
Yeah,
that whole crew, man. Yeah, but being able to work with him, that whole crew. I think anybody.
I almost think it's a prerequisite that if you're working with Jackie Chan, you have to break something, and it can't be a fan.
It can't be a nail. It's got to be something like it's gonna take some time to heal.
Oh man, you gotta break something. No, I agree. I agree. Jackie's that dude, man. Jackie's that dude. So what I want to ask y'all, I'm gonna give your night back to you in a minute. Is I'm gonna go back to the independent side of things because I always like to cater to my audience, right? So you've already answered a lot of questions. I think that's really good insight on there. So now let's say someone's just tuning in now and they just they're late. Shouldn't be late. Go back and watch the show, rewind it, get some of the insight, and they just want to know, I want to hire a stunt performer. Like, what should they do? Like, give us an example of. I mean, it doesn't have to say. I'm not saying they have to reach out to you guys, but just
what's the process?
How do you? Yeah, what's the process of hiring a stunt performer? I'm an independent filmmaker. I'm going to hire all three of you. What is the process of bringing you on?
No Wes Clark.
Oh wow!
Wow!
I'm spoiled.
Underhanded.
I'm spoiled because Jamie. I have so much reach to Jamie, so I'm spoiled as an independent filmmaker. I can always say.
Okay, and I just want to give a little bit of clarity. After you realize that the check is going to clear.
Yeah. Let's say that.
What's the next step?
Check is clear.
I was saying hire a coordinator.
Good addition.
Honestly, I would say you want to hire the stunt coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And the stunt coordinator is the one who's going to hire the stunt performers. And the stunt coordinator is going to know who, because you can always meet a stunt performer and be like, okay, they have a reel. But the stunt coordinator is going to know these people on a personal level. He's probably already worked with most of them, or she has worked with most of them and knows what they bring to the table. So I would say when you bring in a good stunt coordinator, you're going to get the best bang for your buck, for sure.
Very good, very good. So what if now I know like what you just said, what if someone said, okay, well, I want you, I've seen your stuff, I want you in my film. Now, would you recommend a stunt coordinator? How would you go from there?
I would, just because if they don't have one already, like let's say, for instance, they already have a stunt coordinator, but they're like, I want you to be on it. So then I would just ask them for the information of the stunt coordinator and submit my stuff and just say, hey, the director or the producer, recommended that I speak to you, for this particular thing. And here's my stuff. And, let them make that judgment call and step away. Yep. If it is independent and they don't have a stunt coordinator, I would recommend some stunt coordinators, and especially if they're like working within a specific budget, within STAT contracts, stunt coordinators actually do have to make a certain amount. Like there's no negotiable, amount that they can do.
Well, I mean, the amounts on the SAG contract, you got to at least make that.
Yeah.
You got to at least make
but you know what? I just want to go back on something that she said, and for our listeners, I want you to realize something that she said. She would ask for the coordinator's information, and then she would go and contact them, versus doing what some people would do and circumvent and try to go around, because that's how you cause drama on set. What she did is just a total line of respect. If this is the person that's in charge, this is the person that's running the stunt coordinator, he's the one that's running things, I need to get in contact with him, because maybe I'm not a good fit for the situation that's going on here. Let me talk with him, let him look at me, and then let him decide that, or her decide that. Of whether I should be. That's one thing our listeners should realize is
don't break
never exactly circumventing things is excuse my language, it's a real fucked up way to go. And you yourself.
The stunt community is very small.
Yes.
So if you do that to one person, I'm pretty sure most of them are going to know that you did that, and you're not going to work. Period.
Wow, that's very interesting. That's an interesting point. I mean, I just want to, we always want to encourage the independents to, don't cut the corners, man. Just get the stunt performer, get the stunt coordinator, bring that out. And
the other thing is that if, let's say, they don't do that and they're looking to cut corners, and then an actor gets injured really seriously on set, now they got a lawsuit on their hands.
Yep. I wanted to say something. I like the way, and Anita, I love the way you said it earlier. I just step back when the actor wants to do something else. I just step back. Go ahead, bust your ass. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want you to get hurt. But since you're being so insistent about doing it,
he said, "Second take, you do it."
I got this. I got this.
Literally knock yourself out.
I need you to take it.
I mean, the infamous lines, "Hold my beer, I got this." That doesn't work on set.
That's good. That's a good one. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's where like a stunt coordinator also comes into hand, because it's not on me to tell the actor what to do. That's not my job. My job is to support them. So if they want to do the stunt, I'm still protected, because it's not my job to say so. If the stunt coordinator is okay with them doing the stunt, I'm just going to step back and I'm going to follow his or her lead,
And it's the stunt coordinator's job to go to the director or, to producers and say, that's not happening. That's not safe. You won't do that to my performers. Anita said it clearly as day earlier. The coordinator's job is to protect the stunt performer and protect your production.
Yeah.
They've seen a lot of things, and it's crazy. There's a lot of stunt performers that will never be a good stunt coordinator, and there's some stunt coordinators who weren't the best stunt performers, but they understand certain things. And then you got some of the coup de grace that are these badass stunt coordinators, that these are badass stunt performers, right? But ultimately, once you're in that chair, I would say, and what I've seen from some of the best people around is, how to look at every angle and make sure that the people are going home to their families at nighttime. And unfortunately, there have been incidents across the, board. I'm pretty sure that we've all known some people. I personally have not been injured on set. I've definitely gone home saying, "Ooh, where's that adjustment?" and rub it on where it hurts, right? I think we've all been there. But I think Anita said it best. They're there to protect us.
Wow.
Been injured
You've been injured. Yeah, but that's a good segue. So I know, with some injuries. Well, Jamie, you haven't been injured on set. I know you've injured doing personal stuff, but you ain't never been injured on set. That's good, man. Anita,
I call an injury a broken bone or something.
Okay, yeah, like a broken.
Bone. Listen, you're walking home with a black eye or some bruises. We're paid to. That's our job, really. Is you're going to get a little banged up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke my collarbone on Luke Cage and didn't tell nobody.
Wow.
Here's the thing, Jamie, you probably understand it, Anita too. When you get on it, first of all, I was like maybe second year in, second maybe third year in, but getting on a show like Marvel, for me, it was big. So we're doing a big hallway scene, and I basically was a wire gag, and the guy slammed it to my collarbone twice. I didn't realize it was broken until the part of the night where I have to hold a gun and I couldn't lift my arm. But I just lifted the other one and just ran with it. And but I didn't want to say nothing because I want to finish the job. I didn't want to tell James I got hurt. Plus I was hurt from the last job the night before too. So I just went through it and ate it.
Yep.
Now with that being said, David. With that being said, how would you now? I know that's not something that you would recommend for anybody to do, and understandably. No, I'm being serious. I want to clear the air. I mean, because that's a liability thing. I mean, that you could luckily, you healed from it, whatever the case may be, and you're good money. But there are some people who are out there who would think like, I don't want to mess this gig up, and then you're going from gig to gig to gig to gig, getting repetitive injuries, and you're not reporting them. I said all that to say is, how are you guys with making sure, obviously because you guys are unionized, so there has to be insurance, but have you guys ever been on any sets to where you stepped on set, everything's going well, and then you find out, oh shit, there's no insurance? They don't have insurance?
Oh my God.
Nah,
that's terrible.
Yeah.
They're like, nah.
Yeah,
they have to. They gotta have it.
They have to. They have to. But on the independent side, the reason why I say that is because on the independent side, and from line producing, one of the things that I've learned over my 20 years of doing this is that you have some independent filmmakers out here that really don't understand why insurance is necessary. And that was why I brought it up. That's why
I don't think
that's why
I don't
David,
consider them real filmmakers, but
but that's why when David said that's why
they're men with cameras.
That's why when David said what he said, you know, that's why I automatically say, and Wes, you know how I am on set. Like, I want to make sure that everybody's good money. Like, at the end of the day, when not just at the end of set, but when we wrap and when everything is done, I want to know after the fact that you're good money, like you're taken care of. So if there are any injuries, now, David, did you report yours, or did you just take care of it on your own?
I didn't report it because I didn't know it was broken. I just thought I just got banged up a little bit.
Yeah,
right.
We were only halfway through the night. We wrapped at like 6 in the morning. That was at like 2:30. I'm not quitting on that. So I finished up the night. I went home, and then, you know, a couple days later, I realized how fucked up I really was, and I just kind of I took care of it on my own. I went to the hospital. I had insurance, so I took care of it.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right.
It happened on a few jobs. I mean, there's only had one serious injury, and that was on Mr. Robot, and that was an accident with another stunt performer, and it was background cause, because background had got in the way, because background can be a pain in the ass. Everyone knows that, but background got involved in stuff that they shouldn't have gotten involved in. And I wound up getting headbutt, and my face got split. So that was taken care of by production, because we wrapped and they sent me directly to the hospital, and they took care of everything. So stuff like that. I mean, they make sure. Again, the whole thing is safety, so they make sure they take care of us.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Well,
the fact that you guys don't get a lot of injuries is a good thing.
A couple of cases of vodka. Don't 50 owe you a couple cases of vodka for kicking you in the face?
Yeah, that's what we train for.
Like 2 cases of
I don't drink anymore, so I'm good. I don't even drink anymore.
Just to have.
Just to have. Yeah, he got
the
what's that called? What's he got?
Effing vodka. He owed you a couple of cases.
But he got another one now that he's been promoting.
Some vitamin water, something like.
I'll take some vitamin water.
That's good. But yeah, I want to thank y'all for coming on, man. This was very, very good, very cool stuff, man. That we get talking with you and getting a chance to hear about y'all's adventures, at least some of them, you know. But I definitely want to leave everyone with the fact that, once again, as much as we laughing and joking stuff like that, you know, it's very, very serious business what these people do, and
you should respect them.
You should respect 100%. Them for what they do, and for what they can bring to your project. I mean, I keep harping on that. If you want to up your production value 10 times over, hire a stunt coordinator at the very least. Professional stunt coordinator at the very least, and
not your man
performers. Right, yeah, exactly. That my boy. Like I said, you're my boy right there. You know, he used to wrestle in high school.
Not drunk Willie, like drunk Willie that hang around the corner. Don't get him.
We don't need that. Get somebody who really knows what he's doing. Because you know what, you don't want to bring a cinematographer who doesn't know what he's doing. You don't want to bring on anybody, a gaffer or a lighting director, or anyone who don't know what they're doing. You know, or a sound guy, and it sounds crappy. You want to bring on somebody who knows what they're doing. So bring these guys on, people like them. And I like, once again, I applaud each and every one of you for what you do. And, you know, I can't say enough that I respect you 100% for what you guys do. I'm giving you all your flowers now.
Exactly. I definitely appreciate Gotham, and I definitely appreciate Runaways. Two of my favorite shows. Wes already know what it is with me with those two shows, man. I love I was talking about Runaways from jump. I was like, they're doing Runaways.
Yeah. And Power, because you know, I know Jamie.
Oh yeah, Power, yeah, Power too. That's another one.
Yeah,
just because I want to be
Power is blowing up.
Gotham sucks.
Power is blowing up. Yeah,
Gotham sucks.
Gotham does not suck. Stop it. See, these are the arguments that I had.
Ralph is trolling.
Just because I want to troll, Gotham sucks.
Thank y'all for coming on, man. If y'all just shout out anything you want to shout, any last words y'all want to leave with, and
social media.
I'll give y'all shout out your social medias, and I'll give y'all your night back. Jamie.
Why do you keep saying me?
I don't know.
Thanks for having me. I mean, as the independent level, don't be afraid to reach out. Just to touch base on you were saying, where do they find? I mean, in New York, you have Stunt Listing. You can go on there and find coordinators, performers. You have CMG Talent. There's other things in LA. Anita, why don't you mention some of those that you know?
Yeah.
Sure. There's Stunt Players. That tends to be the big one. iStunt, Stunt Phone. That's all the directories mostly. Yeah. And also Stunt Listing is also over here as well. Shout out to Warren Hall. And then if thank you guys for having me on. Thank you, Ralph, for inviting me to to this awesome little cipher.
November.
Yeah, man. It's all good.
I guess if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Anita Clay. You can also follow me on Instagram, Ani Indigo. Everything's linked together, so one profile leads to the next.
Oh wait, Anita. Before we go forward, Anita. Now Ralph just said November. You're going to be at the Urban Action Festival.
Yeah, I try to make it every year unless something comes up, and I do plan to make it this year if we're not in COVID times again.
Right. David, you're there too.
I'll probably be there again. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Shout out your social media, David.
2 years ago I was there. Maybe we'll show up this year if you guys are there.
Yeah, go out there, man.
Yeah, you should. Jamie,
you'll enjoy it, man. That's your will.
Jamie, I'm telling you, show up. I have been faithful. I got an amputated toe. I have an amputated toe. And true story. The year before COVID, actually 2017. I was rushing out of I overslept and I was rushing out of the shower to go, and I kicked the corner of the door and ended up getting MRSA, long story short, in my toe trying to get to the Urban Action Film Festival. So I actually have a stunt injury.
Wow.
I feel good.
You good, because if I lost a toe going there, I wouldn't go no more.
I don't know. But.
That's awesome. Yeah, man.
But definitely come out. We have a good time. I mean, I'm not even kidding. There are times I have been there, and another female stunt, Evelyn. She got with some guys, and they performed the stunt live. Like the whole skit was like she was going to the movie just with a bucket of popcorn, and this crew came by and snatched her popcorn. She was like, "Oh no, you didn't!" And she beat everybody's ass over a box of popcorn. But they stood there. They mapped it all out. They pasted, and they actually shot it in real time. And I was just like, "Wow."
Yeah. The year that I hurt myself was when the year that they did the thing for Wesley Snipes, and they did Blade, and they had all the guys there that showed up as Blade. It was so awesome.
I'm gonna try to make it up there this year, man. Every year I say I'm gonna try to make it up there, and I never do. So
it's worth it. It gets bigger every year too. I'm very happy. That's like my family. Demetrius Angelo, he's like a big brother to me.
Shout out to Demetrius, man. He's very good.
The last live one was with Michael J. White, right?
I think.
I was there for that.
Yeah, when he got put at, he was the Black Dragon, and
he's in the Black Dragon. Yeah,
everybody I was just like, wow. It was
his birthday as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Man.
The night before.
That's a cool dude too, man. I talked to him a few times, man. He's a funny dude too. Funny dude, man. That's what's up, man. Thanks again, y'all, for joining us, man. I appreciate all of you, and man, we'll definitely keep in touch, and you know, I'm gonna be watching y'all. See y'all working on my
making a movie together now. That's next.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
David, you want to shout out your social media?
Yeah, Dave.
My Facebook, I'm David Chen. Instagram is right there. David Chen _
Yeah.
Twitter, it's also actor David Chen.
Yeah. Yo, David, it's funny you mentioned that, Jamie. David, man, remember we talked about this before. we're gonna have to do the Fall Guy together. Like, we have to all get together and write a film or something like that.
I've been writing. I still got a bunch of stuff written.
You know I'm with it.
Now I want to work
me on
together.
social media too. Jaime Miller on Facebook or at Intensity Productions on Instagram. You probably just see crazy, stupid skydiving stuff on Instagram, but you know.
Yo, that's what it is, man. Thanks,
Jamie. Jamie, I'm gonna tell you, I've been skydiving. I got taught to them when I was in the service. They talked me into jumping out of 15,000 feet. You, my friend, you're in that. You're not at 15,000. You seem to be a whole lot higher. And hey, I'm sorry, man. I couldn't do it.
You the man, because I don't know. I see pictures of Jamie floating, and then the plane is going in the other direction. I'm like, no, see, that's the thing.
And see, that is you know what? I'm gonna be honest. That's the scariest part. It's not the jump out the door. That's part of it. The real scary part is when you go out the door and you look up and you see the plane going away from you. You're like, it's really leaving me.
You know, I think honestly, high falls are a lot scarier. Even like the 10-foot fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would rather jump out of a plane than jump, off a roof.
Then jump from like
you know who you can ask? You know the perfect story for that is homeboy from Die Hard, the guy who played Hans Gruber, because they really pushed him. Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, they really
it was like a 40-foot drop.
He didn't know that they were going to drop him. Yeah, he didn't know they were going to actually drop him. And you got that authentic look on his face.
That would be my face too.
Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't even have made it to the bottom alive. I appreciate y'all though. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks.
And y'all have a good night.
You too, man. Good night.
Yeah, man. So that's funny, man. That's too much. Too funny. Good, but it's good, man. It's good to have them on. Good to have them on. I love it.
That was awesome.
Jamie got guts. He got that wingsuit thing, man. I mean, that thing looks awesome. And not to say that I wouldn't like to do it once, but I really would. But man, he is just too high up. I mean, that looked to be about 25,000 feet that he's in the air.
So he was up there, bro.
It's probably more. It's probably more than that.
Probably
was
more.
In a squirrel suit? He was in a squirrel suit? Yeah, he was probably a little bit higher than that.
But that thing is, I always was told that thing is like for a low, what they would consider like a low level jump. Like if you was in the Empire State Building or something and you jumped off the Empire State Building, it was something like that.
Because they mostly use those suits for when if you see the guys they do it off of mountainsides because they catch the thermals and they ride the thermals when they're going through the mountains.
I'm gonna bring Jamie back on because he got frozen and cut off, so we can give him a proper send off.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah, everybody's gone. But I wanted to bring you back in because you got frozen there or whatever, man. We were just talking about how much guts you got. How high are you when you usually jump? Like when you're doing those videos?
Usually about 13,000 feet, but I've jumped as high as about 25.5 on a few world record jumps. So
yeah, wow,
that's that crazy.
So nuts, man. That's so nuts.
15,000 feet is scary enough. You talking about almost 25? No, so
that's awesome, bro. But I thank you so much for coming on, man, and just sharing your knowledge and your experience, and it's great. I'm very proud. I'm gonna get too sentimental on you right here.
Listen, I'm gonna stop you. I am, because I'm brother. Listen, I am just to see that smile again, but to see that cockiness has changed into such a professional person, man. Listen, Jamie. Listen. I'm very proud of you, man. You're doing the damn thing, brother. You're doing the damn thing.
Always out here trying to do my thing. Love hitting the ground and love making movie magic. And every opportunity I can get to go hit the ground for another coordinator, another movie set is a good time. But
no, exactly. But the funny thing is, you're a filmmaker at heart, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you're a filmmaker at heart first and foremost, and that's kind of how you got into all of this stuff because you still. You still bring all of those elements to what you're doing, to the work. And that's a great asset to have you doing that, man. So we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on and spending time with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
Have
it.
Have a good night, my dude.
You too.
And keep breaking legs without breaking legs.
Later, guys.
All right, buddy.
Take it easy, Jamie.
Yeah. So yeah, man. That's that kid, man. I got to keep refraining. He's a man.
No. We got, but he is the kid. He is the kid. He's
the
our
kid. Yeah, he's our kid, man. We were in, like I said, I taught him, and he was just out of high school or just in high school. It was a video program that I was teaching. I was one of the teachers there, and he came there, and he immediately when he walked in, and I didn't tell this story with him on. I don't want to embarrass him. Immediately when he walked in, though, you could tell that he had something going on. You know what I mean? He was just like, he was into it. We had it was him and about 4 others that were just, we all knew they would be doing something in the industry, and they all are. You know what I mean? We had my man Dan Hahn, Alex Chinisi, like they all doing stuff in the industry now. You know what I mean? And we knew it. You know what I mean? Ryan Ivanoff, another one. They all, went on to do kind of like what we thought they do. We like, Jamie ended up doing stunts or something, and that's exactly what he ended up doing. Because I mean, his first he turned in a project. It was just like a regular project that he shot. He did this shot where alongside his motorcycle, but he had the camera low so you could catch the tires spinning on the motorcycle. And he did all of this. I'm sure he did it with no real rigs. This was before he got into stunts. He
set up his own rig for that.
He set up his own rig for that and did it. So you got the wheel spinning. He's riding alongside of a motorcycle, or he's on the motorcycle. And then he's got the camera going. Yeah, man, he was always been innovative, always. You know what I mean? And we knew he was going in this direction, and this is where he ended up. And I'm very proud of that dude, man. Very proud of him, because for him to be working on. I didn't even mention half the stuff he worked. Shades of Blue. So you working with J-Lo, you working with Beyonce, you working with all of these people. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I expected Jamie to be dead. Because that dude, Jamie was doing crazy shit. No, Jamie was doing crazy shit. Like, I'll put it like this. Like, it's kind of, I don't want to call it the Tupac effect, but with Jamie, you wouldn't be surprised if somebody's like, yo, Jamie was in a fiery car crash and he lived. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he had that substance on that he.
I'm just saying, like, even if it wasn't like Jamie crashed. Let's just say Jamie crashed a McLaren, and he came out unscathed. Like it wouldn't surprise me. Like no.
But he's just, like I said, man. He was able to turn that adrenaline, the junk. He turned that adrenaline into something that's become productive. His livelihood. You know what I mean? It's productive. And like I said before, you'll never hear him talk about stunts without mentioning the word safety. Yeah, I mean, he's very, very safe, and he knows, very responsible young man. He's been that way for a long time. Like I said, I could talk about him the whole night. He's very, very good dude, man.
And on that last part that you said, Wes, that's something I want to kind of reiterate. I want to highlight for our listeners. Reiterate, yes, and highlight for our listeners. Yeah. The reason why Jamie's able to mention stunts and in the same breath mention safety is because it was hammered into him.
Yeah.
You're only able to be the biggest leader that you can when you learn how to follow first. Mm-hmm. And if anybody knew Jamie how we knew him, and Wes knew him a lot better than I did. I knew him more from an outside level. But even some of the things that I know, I'm just like, just hearing him talk is not the same person from years ago, which means that he's taking the responsibility of what he's doing very seriously.
Very seriously.
and you cannot do stunt coordinating, or really, I'm gonna be honest with you, you can't do filmmaking and not take your cast and crew into consideration to make sure that you got them and that they're covered. And that, you know, everybody's not only going to be where they're supposed to be, not only is everybody going to get paid like they're supposed to be paid, but their future welfare is also taken care of. And if you're not doing that for your actors, your actresses, and your crew members, then stop doing film, because you're a waste of space. And you're gonna
really mess something up. You get somebody hurt or killed. And I want to say this last thing about Jaime. What's great about him is, you know, he's a performer. He does other things, but he thinks like a coordinator. You know what I mean? Like he thinks like a coordinator all the time, which is great because, you know, like you said, we go back to the safety situation and make sure everybody is good. You know, people. These are the things. These are the unsung heroes. These are the things that people don't care to even look or think to look about. They just watch the movie and that's it. But oh man, that was a really cool stunt. Oh, that looked really cool the way that happened. But you have no idea what was put into all of the preparation and safety and precautions that was put into doing that 1-2 second thing that you saw. You know,
literally hours of setup. Like he explained on the one, on the one pyro thing that he did.
Yeah.
You know, 5 to 6 hours of prep
and for 30 seconds of burn.
Yeah, for 30 seconds of burn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is actually a little longer than usual. Sometimes they don't always burn that long. Nope. You know, JB go always push it to the limit. And this was for his own film. You know, he did it for this. I believe that was his thesis film in college. And he just wanted to push it to the limit. And so he lit himself on fire.
But you heard what he said. And you know what? And that's the other thing. He didn't leave out a bit. Like if you, again, this is why, Wes, we talk about this all the time, paying attention to dialogue, paying attention to when a person speaks. What was the one thing that he said about that whole thing, that whole experience? One thing he mentioned, and he said it twice. He's like, I got yelled at, but they covered me, and I did it, but I got yelled at for doing it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's really cool, man. But in closing for that whole situation is, independents out there, I hope you guys go back and watch this. For the ones that might have missed it, this is a good show for you to understand it's important to have stunt performers on your project, and it's necessary. It's not just important, it's necessary, because you can't respect for what they do. You know, respect for what they do, because the stuff they do, half of people wouldn't even attempt to do it. They'd be done gave up after the first time. you know, and like you said, he said you got to do it over and over again.
Yeah, you heard what David said. He's like, listen, my collarbone was gone. It was broke.
Yeah,
I couldn't even lift the gun up, but I stuck it through.
He's ate it. Yeah, exactly. So they go through a lot, man. So I didn't get a chance to put any of that stuff up on the screen, but you know, if you're just hearing the show now, if you go back a little bit and right near the end of the show, they started shouting out some of the different networks that you can reach out to if you need a stunt performer. You know, maybe we'll put one up on like the Facebook afterwards. You know, you guys can go ahead and I might even drop it in the comments or whatever section. You guys, if you need a stunt performer, find out how to find one. Follow these people on social media, and you'll find somebody. You know, whether it's them or not. If they can't do it, they'll put you on to somebody that knows what they're doing. Yep. That's the key. You know, because I'm telling you, I've been to too many films. Right, I've been to too many film festivals where the film was excellent, the story was great, the cinematography was nice, the sound was good, but the stunts was terrible. You know, and it made the film, it lessened the film. It made it look a little cheesier. So, you know, we'll keep doing these educational sessions. We'll next couple of weeks we'll get a stunt a production coordinator, you know, in here, or a production designer, excuse me, and talk about the importance of production design and set dressing, set design, stuff like that. Because once again, if you want your production to look good and you wanted to up the value of it, these are these things that you need to get a hold of, and it's not going to kill your budget. Trust me. It's not going to kill your budget. People think it does, but it does not. You have to get with the right people.
Exactly. It's kind of like owning a sewing machine at home, and the only thing you know how to do is take up your pants, take up a hem, and maybe maybe tape your pants, or sew a button on. But it's the little things that make them better. Like anybody who's worn a suit, guys, we've all worn suits. Right. The littlest thing to make I've taken off the rack suits and made them look like $100 to $1,000 suits just by balancing the buttons on the sleeve. Like it's the same thing with set design. You don't have to spend $30 million to make a set look awesome. You could take half of that and still come out with the same results, but it's having a good set designer with an eye.
Having someone who knows what they're doing, who has an eye, who can bring certain things to light, and you're like, oh, okay. Once again, just like in every position, you gotta be able to every position, just like Jamie said with stunt coordinator. A good stunt coordinator will know about how to sell shots. So you may not have to be 3 inches away to get that, to sell that punch. You could be, a lot of inches away and still sell a punch. Same thing with a set designer or a set dresser, or set decorator, whatever you want to call them. There's different people that do it, but if they can look at it and say, yeah, you know what, we add this, add that, put that little picture up on that wall, do that, boom. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, it's a law office or something like that.
A good set designer, along with a good DP, can take an 11 by 8 foot room and make it look like a 30 foot by 20 foot room.
Yep, and hopefully I can get Corey on here. I'm trying to get Corey to come on. I know she's a more behind the scenes person, but if I can get her on here and show you some of the things that this woman has done, she has turned blank rooms into all different. She turned a room, or like a big room, into the New York Giants locker room.
I'm gonna say it because Wes won't say it, but I'll say it. She's taking her very house.
Yeah.
Her very house, the house that she lives in.
Yep.
And made it look
into
like
many things.
And made it look like 5 different places, all in the same, just different looks.
Yeah.
From being in the same space.
Same space, and just in our own house. Matter of fact, we shot quite a bit of Playing Dirty in her house. You would never know that.
Yep. And again, because of adding to that, the camera angles. It all works together.
We shot the scene in the office at 11 o'clock at night. Everybody thinks that scene at Yoshi's office is in the middle of the daytime.
Nope, that was dead. That was dead. That was
11 o'clock at night. We shot that film scene. So that's what I'm saying.
I remember it was that time of night because I had to do a 7-Eleven run to go get everybody drinks.
Everybody was dead. We were dead tired.
Straight dead.
So but yeah, so we'll get her on. We'll definitely get her on the next week or so. And this is a good episode, though. This is a good show, man. It was very. Shout out to Raven, one of my classmates, jumped in and listened. I appreciate you. Any of your classmates that might tune in later or did tune in before, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, man, for
Raven
showing support. Hi, Raven. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for your support. We appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. And that's pretty much it, man. That's all I got. I was going to talk about the Masters of the Universe, but I think I'll save that for another day. But I
do want to say something. I saw that show you recommended, that Sex Life.
Yeah,
that show was garbage. Okay, it was garbage.
Nice.
First of all, I mean, it got me in the. I watched the entire show. Objectively, I looked at it.
You did watch the whole thing? Okay.
I watched the entire series. So I want to be sure. So this woman, as she said, she's 85%. She has the life she wanted. She's got a family, a husband, career, all, but she's unhappy because her husband isn't banging her the way that her ex dude used to. And she's fantasizing about him. And like homegirl said, you're only fantasizing about the good stuff. What about all the bad stuff?
Right.
So now the husband hasn't done, and from her own words, hasn't done nothing to her, not one damn thing. But she's unhappy. She's unhappy, right? So
women.
now,
women.
So, exactly. So, and right, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but you're right, women. Because see, if the guy did the same thing, you women out there be like, you need to grow up. You're not a man. You know, you got responsibilities. You have a family. This now they even ask the question: is your fantasy worth you risking your life for? And she chooses.
To her, it is.
And with the expectation there's going to be a season 2, there's not going to be a season 2. There shouldn't have been a season 1.
Because season 2 would just be the affair.
Right.
Like to show the affair. Because season 2 is set. They set up season 2 where he might start cheating, but it's like, what's the point of seeing all that? We already know what what I'm saying. They set that up, so we'll see how that goes. But
and even with that one, he had the opportunity to cheat on her, and he said, "I didn't do it."
He didn't.
A couple times, and he didn't do it.
A couple times he had the opportunity to cheat, and he didn't do it.
It was his wife's suggestion to go to the swingers party. It wasn't his; it was his wife. Right? So, because she wanted to spice up the marriage. So now that he's there, and now he wants to spice up. Now she's like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to be here. I don't feel comfortable.
That's the part that's funny, because that reminded me, I call that was a Chase and Amy moment. It's like, oh, you freaky deaky until now we get here and we're doing this together, and now all of a sudden you ain't a freak.
And you know what it made me think about? It made me think about Eddie Murphy when he said in Raw, he's like, if you ever, and I thought about this, he said, if you ever, when he was talking about because she's shot, get your shot. How come all the women that talk about their shot never from the town you meet them in? So was she from New York? No,
she was
met
from
her
Atlanta.
husband. Now all of a sudden you shy because you got so many damn skeletons, and that's what she has so many damn skeletons.
She's so shy. So they go to the swinger party, and now she's like, I don't want to do that. And he's just like, oh, he had a moment where, like in Chase and Amy, where Holden is like saying, hey, I thought you'd be into this. Let's do this, dude. Let's do the threesome. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it. She's like, I did that already.
Right.
But this one, she had never did this, though.
She had never did it before.
She never did this. So that's why he's like, oh, we finally got something that we could do together that you've never done. And it's like,
she backed out. She backed out.
So before I end the show, Ralph, you sound a little in your feelings about this. Okay?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna just tell you why, right? Simply because of that fact. If they did that reverse where it was the guy, right? Women would say, you need to grow up. You're not a man. You have a family. You have responsibility. And I'm not sitting here saying that she was wrong for how she felt. But once again, you're not even, she wasn't even 85. She was 95% happy. If the only thing that your dude wasn't doing was giving you the sex that your scumbag ex-boyfriend who wait a minute, that ran a record label, right? That had an accent that was like 6 foot something, but
and let's keep it a buck.
But cheated on you. Wait a minute. Cheated on you. Basically, wait a minute. At your homegirl's wedding, was making out with another chick in front of you, and after you lost your baby, decided to hook up with another chick, and kicked you out of his apartment on a rainy night. That's the dude you want? Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Thank you, Ralph, for saving me some time, because I will not be tuning. Just that alone, just that factor alone. I can't. I can't do stupidity relationship. I can't.
Like I said, I was watching it, and that really got my attention. And I said, wait, let me really sit back and take this in, because it's only 8 episodes.
But I mean, that's kind of the point of the show, though. Because look at the title. It's not just called Sex Life. It's called Sex/Life, right? So that's the way it is. You got the slash there. So it's like, it's a double entendre, so to speak.
But they should.
Is she
the question,
picking the sex? Or is she picking her life? You know
right,
what I mean?
That's the most important part. Which is the more important? Your
It's
sex?
most important. Yeah. Or is the risk
life?
worth the? Yeah. Is that risk worth it? She said she had used 85 and 15. She's like, is that 15% worth risking the 85? That's her thing. And apparently it is.
For some dick. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. For some dick.
Yeah. Man. Dick. It's
no matter how good the dick was.
It's rough, but it's
and this is the other thing. So now she's writing this journal. Her husband reads the journal. So her husband starts to mimic the stuff that the dude did to her, and she's still not happy.
But he can't do it, right?
No, it's you know what it is? It's not that it's like what I said last week. It's not that he can't do it right. It's not that he's not touching her right. It's the fact of that emotional connection is not there. She is damaged. That was there's a damaged connection that's there that she took pleasure from that. Like that was a part of the sensuality of her relationship with the dude. Like that's what made the fact that she was being treated the fact that she was being treated like shit, and then she's getting her brains banged out.
And even her girl said the same thing. You only fantasizing about the good stuff. What about all the bad shit that he did?
Stuff that he did. She said
every single time. Right, and he said every single time he crawling back to you and telling you sorry, and you take him back like a dumbass. Sorry.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I don't know, man. It was crazy. I thought it was going in a different direction, and it took a different turn that I thought it would do, especially in the last couple episodes. Like I didn't know it was going to end the way it ended, and I was like, whoa, okay, that was bold. Like the way they decided to do it. That's why I said, it completely abandoned any sort of, and I think it was on purpose. It abandoned any sort of moral, responsibility here, in this show. Because you're like, you're figuring like, okay, by the end, you're like, okay, it's 8 episodes. So by episode 6 or 7, she's going to start bringing it back in. And you're just sitting there like, wait a minute. You figure something not happening.
Nothing.
I think I have something to make up for that. There were 2 new shows that came out in the meantime. One's on Netflix, the other one is on Amazon. The one on Amazon is Jolt with Kate Beckinsale, and it's an action flick. And the other one is Gunpowder and Milkshake.
Yo, Gunpowder Milkshake, yeah.
I heard people was dogging that. I heard people was dogging it like it was horrible. I was like, really?
I'm gonna check them both out.
And I do want to see that Masters of the Universe. That I was like, wow.
I watched it. I mean, very quickly because we got to end the show. We're running over. Very quickly, I'll write my review on the Facebook, and people can read it or whatever. I see what Kevin Smith was trying to do. I just think some of the execution that they did. I think the animation was great. Animation for it looked really good. The voice acting, the voice acting was good. Like the actors that was in there. Mark Hamill was amazing as Skeletor. It was Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think, played Tila. And so it's really, really good. Story's pretty good too. I just don't think the way they executed it was, just not really. Yeah, I mean, and what I don't like about it is what happens to most shows. You know, this show, they called it Masters of the Universe for a reason. I knew when they removed He-Man in the Masters of the Universe that something we were in. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you, Ralph. I want you to go ahead and watch it, and then we'll discuss it. But
I'm gonna watch it.
You know, yeah. It's. I mean, you know, it's only 5 episodes. It's only half of the first season, so it's only like 5 episodes.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna knock it out because I watched Sex Life, and then I watched
the what you call it, the movies that made us is new season is out. Back to the Future.
You bastards, man! Y'all dropped those 4, and I didn't even know it. I was looking at something else, and it popped up. I was like, it said continue watching. I was like, why? It was only 4, and it was like season 2. I was like, you jerks. Y'all just dropped those 4 little nuggets. Man, Back to the Future. Jurassic Park alone, I was like, whoa. You know,
it's good. It's good. I think it's always good for movie lovers and movie makers to watch these shows, because it really shows you that, you know, even with the biggest budget films and the big films and stuff like that, it's hell to get a film made, man. It's an accomplishment to even make a film. And Back to the Future had 6 weeks of filming.
The whole thing.
And they decided to switch the actor. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, no one who does that. Nobody did that. Nobody does that.
Nobody.
You filled almost a whole film, or it might have been the whole film that you filmed with Eric Stoltz, and then you had to come back and reshoot all that stuff with Michael J. Fox. Obviously, it worked out, but you know, it's good. I recommend that. Anyone who wants to watch a good documentary show on Netflix, it's called The Movies That Made Us, and they got 2 seasons.
Definitely check out the one about
ready to watch.
I'm getting ready to
watch the Jurassic Park one now, and then I'm going to watch He-Man. I don't give a damn about fuck Forrest Gump.
No, trust me. Watch the one about Forrest Gump
too, because you know that's Zemeckis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the stuff that went down with them doing Forrest Gump, and it was all about money. Like how are we going to do this? And the cloak and dagger thing, as he said it, to really get it done. It was like, damn. But the only thing I'm going to say about this series is that while I do appreciate the light that you're shining on the film, it would be nice to actually have the main actors in it. You know, like you did that whole thing on Pretty Woman.
Cool.
It was good, but in seeing Hector Alonso was nice. But I would have liked to have seen maybe Richard Gere more than Julia Roberts, since originally he was. I didn't want to do this thing, and the same thing with Back to the Future.
You couldn't do it with Dirty Dancing.
Nice to have Christopher Lloyd. No, you could have had Jennifer Grey in it, because she is still. And I understand.
She didn't appear in that once. She didn't appear in that.
No, they grabbed footage of her from another thing that she did, right? And the same thing with Back to the Future. They grabbed Michael J. Fox from something else, but it would have been cool to actually have
Christopher Lloyd,
right, actually saying how he got into the part, or and his trying to.
But they knew he was. That's who they wanted from day one. They wanted him to, They wanted him. They knew they wanted him, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't even really look at the script at first.
No.
So,
and his wife said, maybe you really need to read.
Maybe you look at this script.
Steven Spielberg. You don't turn Steven Spielberg now.
He threw the script in the garbage. He was like, oh,
like that. When his wife said, you don't turn Steven Spielberg down.
Yeah, you don't turn out Steven Spielberg. So cool. All right, man. So, well, he just wasn't. And Crispin Glover. That is Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
he was a nightmare.
Nightmare on set, man. They were like, this dude just didn't listen or go through the door. He's arguing he's pushing back to the director about walking through a door.
Wouldn't really go through the door that
he wouldn't really go through the door like that.
Open the door.
Go through the door.
Open the door.
We got something on the other side that he needs to see. They had to convince him to go through the door. They're like, there's something on the other side of that door that
he
needs to see.
I know, man.
Okay.
I was like, I see why you wasn't in the sequel. Now
That's
I
probably
see
why he
you
wasn't in the
wouldn't-
sequel, because he was
He
a
was like,
pain in the neck.
not
But
again.
he's brilliant. He's brilliant in his own way, though. But he's a pain in the neck to work with.
He's like,
but
not
he
again.
did a bang up job, though. He did a great job as that character.
He did.
But he was just,
But-
I guess they
but
figured
there's
we're
a
not,
couple-
at that point they're like, we've already made the money. That this franchise is gonna survive. We're just gonna, sneak in someone and replace him. And they just did it nice and smooth and quick. And a lot of people to this day don't even know.
I would like to see him do one of these on a. Yeah, I would like to see him do, because I was thinking about this. Say no, what one way I like to see Beyond the Lost Boys. I would like to see them do one of these on Poltergeist, and not for nothing. It really would be kind of cool.
That's gonna be a lot to unpack to do one on Poltergeist.
There was one actually. When I think of the name of it, I'll shoot you a text. Or
Yeah,
I'll
I'd like
put
to
it in
see
the
that.
form. There was one done on Poltergeist. There was one done on Poltergeist.
There's a lot of.
It was one done.
There's a lot of feelings behind that one, though. That was very, a lot of tragedy behind that.
Poltergeist curse.
The thing that I saw, it dealt with all three Poltergeists. It dealt with all the way up to up until the Poltergeist 3. And they talked about every death. Also, there was one about in the same series I was talking about. They did The Exorcist as well. Damn it, Wes, because you saw it too.
And that thing with The Exorcist, the thing you're supposed to like them doing the sequel, prequels. No,
it's a sequel. It's a sequel.
No.
Actually, what they're posing to do is gonna work, because they did the TV. There was actually a TV show called The Exorcist, and they had the characters in it. They had the people portraying the characters, the portraying the actors and the actresses, and one of the girls was actually playing Linda Blair, in the TV show called The Exorcist, and it was pretty damn good with what they did.
Yeah, but if you're going to do this back on the big screen, and I'm not sitting saying you shouldn't, if you want to continue the story of Exorcist, it should be Linda Blair's character, not the mother. The mom is not the focus. It's the kid, the little girl.
Actually, no. Actually, it's she's not the focus, actually, because the demon has been exorcised from her. The focus of this movie is going to be on another little kid. And actually,
remember, actually, the demon was exercised from her in the first movie, right?
Yeah,
right. But that's what I'm saying.
Jumped into Demi.
Yeah,
right. So that's what I'm saying. So why are you bringing back Ellen Burstyn? What's she like? Well, I remember when this happened to my
she's a consultant or something.
Because she ties in her story is tying into
the new little girl
to the new family.
She's probably just going to be like a consultant. She's going to be like not a consultant on the film, but I mean, in the film, she's going to kind of be probably someone that they bring in just to, get some insight, information on.
Yeah, they're going to reference her. They're like, oh, well, this happened to you and such and such.
Right. So she'll be like the consultant.
Well, like what they did with the TV show. I know we got to go. I just want to, what they did with the TV show. The TV show was actually about Linda Blair, but there was another actress playing Linda Blair. The lady playing her mom, and that, like the demon was actually real, like Captain whatever his name was. The demon was actually real, and the show was so damn good, but it got canceled in the second season, for whatever reason. And then they came out with the show Evil. Well, yeah.
Joseph says, "Don't forget about the Crow curse."
Yeah,
that actually, I'd actually like to see a behind the scenes of that too.
I would like to see that one.
I was even thinking like a behind the scenes. Breakfast Club would be a good one.
I think that would be a very good one.
I don't think they had too many production issues with Breakfast Club, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
There is one about the Crow, and there is definitely one about Poltergeist, and there's one about The Exorcist. And you know what? Actually, it's coming back to me now, because there's also one about The Omen as well. There's a movie about The Omen as well.
I can deal without all of those. I'm not watching them, but it's interesting to watch the behind the scenes stuff. But I think just go out and watch the what's it called, the movies that made us. Check it out. It's interesting stuff. I'll probably check another episode out tonight And that's it, man. We gotta end the show, but we'll get up with y'all next week. And we thank y'all. We'll thank out to our guests, David Chen and Anita Clay and Jaime Miller, for joining us today and bringing their insight in. This is a good show. Next week, we'll come back with some other stuff. Y'all, you can love us, you can hate us, but don't forget about us. Y'all, peace.